Um, so before I start the video, let me first define my definition of art. So my definition of art is an objective skill uh, that can be perceived subjectively by an audience. Same thing for an artist, someone who has an objective skill that can be perceived subjectively by an audience. Because I throw the word around a lot, art, and so that's just my definition of it. So anything that can fall under that, you know, I consider it an art. Now, on my previous video, I made an analysis of Sucker Punch, and I was kind of, but before I made a video on it, I was kind of thinking whether or not my thoughts on it were justified, whether or not it warranted an interpretation, and I think there is enough in there to validate a rich reading. So check that out if you haven't already. But anyways, that got me all thinking about interpretation in general, and what movie, what book, what photograph or poem or whatever, just what warrants a good interpretation. Maybe all of them, maybe. I kind of go a little more. I don't think everything is. I don't think everything deserves one. Not saying that you shouldn't, but I think not all pieces of art deserve an interpretation. Some come off a little. If you watch more movies than the average Joe, then you've probably come across a movie that is more complex or simpler than others, and it kind of provokes thought and inquisition, where you're just pondering for a little bit, and that's cool. I love that. But sometimes you'll get one that's just kind of muddled and vague. So let me use the example of Richard Kelly, the writer and director of Donnie Darko and The Box. The Box was his first feature film, and wait, did I say Donnie Darko? Donnie Darko was his first feature film, and The Box is his most recent. Donnie Darko, for those of you who've seen it, is this very cool, just ambiguous, very atmospheric movie. But both of his movies are very atmospheric. But Donnie Darko has this following, this little cult following, and if you see it, you see why. It's cool. It's kind of emo and shit. I dig it. Has a young Jake Gyllenhaal, or younger Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jenna Malone, and I like her. However, his new one, The Box, unlike Donnie Darko, comes off more vague. Donnie Darko has enough in there, I think, to validate certain interpretations. There's room for interpretation, but and same thing with The Box, except there's only room because I can't get a clear idea of what he's trying to say, of what exactly, because there's some like religious undertones and stuff like that, like altruistic themes going on, but it's still unclear as to what exactly he's trying to say. It comes off muddled, like he doesn't know exactly what he like, he doesn't know what he feels on it, and that comes through, and that's, I give him more credit there than someone who just, for example, splatters paint on a canvas and calls that art. And people kind of go up to, I think this means, I think that's bullshit. In my eyes, that's kind of bullshit. That to me, that comes off a little lazy, and like they weren't trying. Both I don't really want to interpret too much. One is either too vague, another one's there's the other one, there's the other kind that's too complex, and I guess there's another one where it's just the thoughts aren't collected enough. So what are your ideas on interpretation? What do you guys think? Let me know. I am curious.